Hey there. Today, we are going to bring you some benefits of home ownership. I'm here with Tracy Siebald with Tropical Financial Credit Union, and we're going to share those benefits of home ownership.
So between experience and the company I work for is a great match for helping to educate on the benefits of home ownership. So Tamela, I don't know if you want to present the slide or I'll go ahead and begin.
Well, one of the things I wanted to touch on, and so that people know as they're watching this, we are actually going to do one of our videos on the comparison of credit unions versus regular banks or traditional banks. And other ways of doing mortgages. So that's a little teaser for the future, one of the other videos, because we will be including this on a playlist. So yes, absolutely. Let me share the slide so that we can go into the benefits of home ownership.
All right.
So there we are. Let's go through this, Tracy.
There we are. Look at that happy family. And that's what we want to do for all of you today. Anyone can be a homeowner. It's simpler than you think. So let's start off with some of the benefits. Some you might say, okay, I already knew that, but hopefully some will be new to you. Let's start off with, obviously, you're owning the property, and there are some tax benefits, which are the mortgage interest, excuse me, on the property. Interest rates are so low right now that when you look at the total payment, you're going to see, wow, this is so much lower than the rent that I'm paying. So again, mortgage interest is very low. It is tax deductible on your taxes. Big plus there. There's also sometimes when you have a lower down payment, there's an additional insurance called private mortgage insurance. Some have heard that term, some may not. And of course, most people think they don't like that term. They don't want to pay that insurance, but just know on a side note, that can also be tax deductible as well. So another benefit. So the longer you own your home, the more equity you're going to establish in that home. What is equity? So equity is looking at what you paid for the property versus what you could sell it for now. Then you take out what any loan you got from that lender, and the difference is the equity that you have in the home. So establishing equity is a huge plus, and you do that two ways. You do it by just over time, the market value increases as your loan balance decreases. So that creates a bigger gap, which creates more equity for you, which is a huge investment. Real estate is always your best investment option. So again, you're not paying rent. So everyone knows rent increases every year. Sometimes less than a year if you signed a shorter term, whereby a mortgage, your mortgage, when you get a fixed rate mortgage, is not going to change. It's going to stay that over a 30-year period. Wow, right? 30 years. Think about if you were renting a property for even 5 years, that's going to go up, 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 where your mortgage, the balance is going to go down.
Can I pause you there for Can I pause you there for a moment?
Absolutely.
You're absolutely 100% correct. Properties that I used to help my landlords with rent that were at $1,500 are now over $2,200 within 7 years.
Wow.
Yep, 7 years. So that person right now could have purchased their property 7 years ago, and they would have stayed at that stable payment, but now they're out looking for another property. Not to mention that they can't find a rental right now because rentals are so hard to come by. So that's a huge, to me, and all the list of these items of benefits of owning a home, that's a major one to stop on for a moment. So thanks for letting me interject.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. It is the number one, reason why people should consider it because of what you just said. Plus, if you look over time, even if rents stabilize, homeownership and mortgage interest and all of that is still more stable. You pay a lot more in rent over a period of time and you own nothing. Yep. It's like leasing a car. You got to turn it in every couple of years, right? You never owned it, but with real estate, you own it. And there's just, as I said, tax advantages. you're gaining that equity, which is, money in your pocket, basically, whether you sell the home later on, or you can then get money out of the home to invest in other property. So yeah. The other thing, people have a misconception of, man, it takes a lot of money to buy a house. No, it really doesn't. It takes as little as 3% down. So, with that 3% down, there are other avenues which me as an experienced loan officer can give you ideas other than what your current liquid assets are, to be able to find that money for the down payment, which of course, in one of our future little teaser videos, we'll talk about, how do I get that money to get that down payment? And then, of course, we're going to talk about the flexibility of what you can do with the home. And so when you're renting a property, let me ask you this. Can you refresh it with paint? Can you change anything in the home? Can you do anything to the yard work? If it's a house that you're renting, change the landscape. No, you can't do anything without the landlord's approval. Right, Tamela?
How about those restrictions on pets?
Yes.
Big one. Yeah. So when you own your own home and you have your fur family, right? You have your dog or your cat or your bird or your python or whatever it might be, as long as there's not a restriction within the homeowners association, if you're living in a homeowners association,
right,
then you can have your pet. Whereas in a lot of rentals, and I'm seeing it get even more strict, they're not allowing pets. So now you have a choice. Do I give up my fur baby, or what do I do at that point? Or do I pick another place to live? And with rentals being so minimal, the least number. So you get to have your pet as well, not to mention the different modifications you can make to a home. Absolutely.
Yes. And let's think about the restrictions even with vehicles. How many vehicles, things of all that nature. So homes, even with, I see homeowners associations are a little more flexible than those rental communities, in my opinion. And of course, there's many homes out there, which Tamela can find you, that don't even have an HOA, right? And there are some that have HOAs, but they have limited rules, which is nice because it keeps everyone where their homes are kept in good form, and that they're painting their house a color that's okay in the neighborhood versus some crazy pink or purple, perhaps. Whatever your preference might be. But, that's what I love is I happen to live in a community which has an HOA, but it's very limited. So I'm still able to change my property appearance to the way I like it without much, I guess, conflict, with the association. So these are just a few of the benefits of owning a home, but we encourage you to reach out to us with any other questions you have about owning a home. But I feel like these are the main points and the best things and reasons to own a home.
Absolutely. And I'll get back to that, establishing equity. What I found is one of my clients years ago, when the short sales occurred, I sold her a property for $85,000. And that was really low. It was not in good shape. And it was when one of the neighborhoods in Palm Beach County really took that major dive. I mean, the properties went drastically down. And then I sold it for her last year for over $155,000. So that's an example of a time frame where you build that equity. And a lot of people, I guide them to, not only are you building equity, but depending on the type of mortgage that they've done on a property, depending on how they finance, they may choose other options. Maybe they choose to turn that into a rental, or maybe they refinance the property out of a previous loan. So those were a lot of teaser things that in our sequencing and through these playlists that videos that people can watch the next video and understand a little bit about that as well, because there's so many things that you can do once you own your home. It's one of the benefits of things that you can do with the home.
Yeah, absolutely. I touched briefly, and we'll have this on a future broadcast as well, talking about home equity lines of credit, the do's and don'ts, and can it be good, is it bad? And every situation is different. So again, that's why we'd have to have a whole separate video just about that. One thing I didn't touch on, and it just popped in my head, was it builds your credit too. So obviously you need decent credit to get into a mortgage, not excellent. Just, you don't need excellent credit to get a mortgage. Just, I want to bring that up. But getting a mortgage builds your credit up so quickly, which gives you more buying power, like Tamela said, and you can buy more properties, investment properties, turn that primary home you just bought a couple years down the road. You don't have to sell it. You can, rent it out and then buy another property. But another good point to bring up for owning a home.
Absolutely. And there's another one that's not even on the slide from even a mortgage point, but we have portability tax. And I have a video about that as well that talks about being able to do your portability with your taxes here in Florida. So once you've established the taxes on your home and then you buy the next one, you can port it. So that's another. So we have a lot in store for everyone who's out there watching. These videos we're going to drop on a weekly basis for you is our plan. So keep an eye out for those videos. Subscribe so that you know when the videos are coming available so that we can share those with you and share some of the more information. As you notice, we both have an awful lot of knowledge in this industry, and really it comes from the heart. We want to be able to give that to you and give you that guidance so that you do get to reap the benefits of home ownership. So Tracy, one more time, could you share, and I will put that below, but would you share with them how they can reach you?
Absolutely. I really love what you said. We feel it from the heart because we really do. But to reach me, my cell phone number is 954-350-2638. Again, I'm with Tropical Financial Credit Union. And my email address is first letter of my name for Tracy, last name Siebald. And that's TSIEBALD at tfcu-fl.org. And you can find me also on the Tropical Financial Credit Union website, but be sure to look for me.
Absolutely, especially now that they've gotten to know you on this video. I think that's great. So thank you, everyone. And we'll share some more of these tips with you coming up next if you're on that playlist, or if you're searching through this YouTube channel, you can find some other videos on here as well.
All right.